Football Appreciation Club. That was cool. Week 2 of the 2024 NFL season. The man on your screen, Arizona Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Petzing, is killing defenses from his clipboard. The Cardinals offense, despite winning 4 games last year, had a top 5 run game in almost every statistical category. I watched the Los Angeles Rams versus the Arizona Cardinals and charted every Cardinals run of 4 or more yards, as well as every pass of 20 or more yards, and the results are terrifying. As I go through the tape in my charting, ask yourself this: is there a trend or pattern emerging in this offense? Hint: there is essentially nothing to pick up on. I don't know how you beat this guy right here. Let's roll the tape. The variation of their personnel group, formation, distribution, width, type, motions, and then their run schemes is endless. They start out in a balanced single back formation that is spaced out. They motion into a 3x1. This is a zone run. Everyone takes a read step in one direction, in this case to the right. You apply base blocks or double teams based on who's in your zone, and the guys placing the double teams or combo blocks will release to the second level. This is the beauty of the zone run game. You gain a numerical and leverage advantage by blocking space rather than blocking a player. The key blocks on this play end up being the base block by the center and then the combo block by the right guard. He does end up hitting the linebacker as well, and then James Conner hits that AB gap area on the front side. It's a very tight run. He just takes a beeline to the end zone on most of his runs. What's the quickest way to get to A to B in a straight line? And Connor's execution of the run game will also stand out to you on this tape. The backside tackle also applies a double team and climbs to the second level, but he actually applies like 3 blocks here, and they get a lot of push from the interior of their offensive line. On zone runs, the running back scans the offensive line and how it's blocking the defensive front, reading helmets. If there's an open lane, he has his choice. This one, he just bangs right up the middle. But he could have had multiple reads available to him. Notice the linebacker shift with the motion, and the defense is imbalanced along with the offense, and they end up running toward the weak side of the formation. They follow up their single back 12 zone run with a single back 12 power run. The H tight end cheats right. The backside guard pulls. Down blocks with leverage from the rest of the line, including a double team on the defensive end at the point of attack. The pulling guard kicks out the edge, and the motioning tight end leads through the hole and picks off a linebacker at the second level. James Conner has to wiggle his way through. 72 might have gotten away with a little bit of something here, but again, we're getting lots of push. We went from zone blocking principles to man blocking principles. They do like to run this power quite a bit. We're going from under center and single back to shotgun formation and still running that power very effectively. This is again an unbalanced formation that then motions into a balanced formation. And notice the personnel group, we're in 23 pony personnel, or 2 running backs instead of a back and a fullback. That's Trey Benson split out to the right. You may have noticed to start out lots of 12 personnel, a 3 tight end set. They also run a lot of 13 as well at a league leading rate. Here they go into 11 personnel, but still go under center in the single back, keep it a dense formation, and these wide receivers get their hands dirty. They got a pretty big group of guys too. The way I think of duo run scheme is that it's essentially inside zone with man blocking principles. So we're getting double teams or blocking our man in conjunction with a teammate. We're also blocking with leverage. Everyone's blocking down the line to their left, and on a duo run scheme, the run path by the back goes opposite of the blocking scheme, whereas on a zone run, they all go in the same direction. These blocks on the edge are key. The back reads hats. I think this is usually called something like bang or bend. Connor bends this because the key block ends up being Michael Wilson, their flanker type receiver, big guy for his role here in the slot, and he wins his block, and James Conner takes a tight angle around that player. The rook could maybe buy into the run game a little bit more. I think this kid has a bit more diva than is typically attributed to him, but he is involved in this run scheme at a minimum level, at least. Going back into shotgun, 2 tight end formation. So running right as we've been, we run left, alternating between zone and man blocking. Back to single back and second and short situation. This is outside zone. Once again, everyone takes a read step in the same direction. This time left. The key blocks end up being a reach block by the front side guard and the combo block by the front side tackle. Again, this run wins by blocking space, leaving a guy unblocked, everyone shifting in one direction, similar to pulling a guy around, gaining a unilateral numbers and size advantage. I don't like how the tight end gets slow off the ball and 70 slow to get through his combo block, and then Benson, my guy, we'll talk about him, gets choppy making his read. He's catching up to the speed of the game. Their outside zone execution needs to improve, but inside zone is money right now. These guards are big, but they can move. 76 Hernandez, 72 Brown. They like to go with man blocking principles, pull them around, get the bigs on the smalls, or the biggers on the bigs. But they can also play some finesse. You never know what they're going to throw at you. Power, inside zone, outside zone. Here, pin and pull out of shotgun. The tight end pins the edge on the front side. The front side guard pulls. Anytime you see a front side guard or tackle pull to the outside, most likely pin and pull. The backside guard also pulls. The first guy kicks out that nickel. The second guy takes out the linebacker. The rest of the line blocks down with leverage. And then you got a few more blocks out in space that make this play happen. Notice that this is an 11 personnel formation and shotgun. They're really spreading the field. Another formation, pistol. and they run power out of pistol, 11 personnel, whereas a lot of teams run zone out of pistol. This was top 2 coolest plays of the week to me. This was the inspiration for this article. Spread 11 shotgun exit cheat motion from a 3x2 to a 4x1. This is a CT counter. The center is going to pull, kick out the edge. The backside tackle is going to pull, lead through, and pick off a defensive back. Connor turns the motion into a counter step action handoff. Down blocks, hat on a hat. We got everyone accounted for except for the safety. This is how you generate explosive plays in the modern run game. There's been a preference for zone runs over the past couple decades, but as defenses have gotten smaller and faster and playing more cover 2 shells and the like, bigger bodies, man on man, taking it to them, that's what's working in 2024. I know I'm not the only one talking about this, how run game is controlling the NFL through 2 weeks. That was the hook. This is the haymaker for this game. The Cardinals reintroduce their 23 pony formation. This is a heavy shotgun formation, reminiscent of some funky stuff out there, old wing type offenses. This offense I found at the youth in high school and some college called the diamond formation. Petzing is one of those guys who appears to be a football historian who can pull out the wackiest stuff in the red zone. This is an early nominee for Football Appreciation Club Play of the Year because we have 2 of my pop test guys, Trey Benson in the backfield and Tip Ryman at tight end. The pop test was my first ever article on footballappreciationclub.substack.com. It's my college scouting article for the NFL draft. Benson was my number 1 back. He's slow to get going in terms of run efficiency, but he lays an awesome lead block on this red zone touchdown. And then, watch 87 Tip Ryman on this play. This guy is huge and extremely athletic, just juiced up. And this is another pin and pull handoff. He's responsible for pinning the edge, in this case, the 3-4 DE. And his brute strength is on full display. I swear this guy blocks 4 defenders at once on this play. I'm not even joking. They motion Benson to this offset stack thing. Front side tight end pins, front side guard pulls. The backside guard also pulls and gets kind of lost in the scrum here, but that front side guard kicks out the edge, the outside linebacker. We're down blocking with leverage. We get blocks for our tight ends and the backside tight end, and then the only hat left unaccounted is that linebacker, the off-ball linebacker, and that's where we get the awesome diving lead block from Trey Benson right out of the shift. There's got to be some sort of metaphor for Tip Ryman on this play. I mean, oh man, this guy's how many guys is he blocking? I swear there's 4 guys in there and he's holding them back. Dude looks like the Hoover Dam out there. I called this Tip versus the world. Watch him. What a hoss. And notice where Connor is on the second screenshot relative to the defense. How did he get through here? Beautiful football, man. Just bodies, numbers, angles, intensity, and execution. This offense rules. Here's a look at their 13 personnel runs. They motion from 2x2 to 3x1 and then run in that direction. Zone, power, pin and pull, counter, shotgun, single back, 11, 12, 13, 23. What is this guy gonna do next? Well, it gets scarier than this. Fly motion. They make it look like a zone left, especially with that motion, which looks like a split flow block to pick off the backside edge, while the offensive line combos the front. They're actually going to leave that backside edge unblocked, and when he crashes on the zone run, Kyler will keep the ball, read option, and that split flow blocking action will actually turn into a lead block on the perimeter, take out the DB. Marvin Harrison gets in the way of the linebacker, and the only guy left to beat is the safety. Yet another wrinkle to the Cardinals' run game. Kyler can just keep and take off on any one of these handoffs. We're gaining numerical advantages by just not blocking guys and deciding to block other guys, run around a guy instead of blocking him. Those were all the runs in Drew Petzing's game plan on week 2 of the 2024 NFL season. That is pretty typical for Petzing. Just a mad mix of everything you can think of. Do note that first couple of these passes occurred early in the game. This is first quarter. I moved things around chronologically. Traditionally, we think of the run setting up the pass. Petzing has certainly earned a reputation. This whole Cardinals team has earned the right to threaten the run, especially when they put 3 tight ends on the field like this. But in this game, we kind of saw it the other way around. Early play action shots before they even establish the run. They got you on your heels. They got you triggering downfield, looking into the backfield, and they're going over your head. Corner post combo. We got Y corner, X post, a couple other zone beaters, dig, hook. But if you watched NFL highlights over the past week, you probably know what happens here. I don't know, man. This is out of 13 personnel. They got 1 wide receiver out there, and they're throwing it over your head. On the next drive, they go play action leak. They make it look like zone to the left, but it's a boot with a split flow slide route and an X crosser or over. What this crosser is supposed to do is distract the defense for the Y wheel on the backside of the play concept. Instead of keying in to the front side crosser and letting that backside wheel get lost in the shuffle, the Rams defense actually keys into that Y leak wheel early and overcommits to that. Marvin Harrison Jr., smart kid, making some heads-up plays in this game, notices the situation, sees the space out in front of him, and around the time he hits that logo, he turns on the Jets and he turns the crosser into more of a deep post because he's just got it. They'll do play action shots out of 13. They can also tap into just a standard drop back passing game out of shotgun, out of 11. They motion a wide receiver out of the backfield into the flanker alignment. The flex Y runs a stick concept, typically a little hitch or hook with an option break based on the coverage. I think since it's zone, he's supposed to sit. If it were a man, he would cut out. Crosser over it with a clear out go. On the backside of the concept, Marvin Harrison Jr. runs a fade route. I don't think he's even part of this read, if I'm being honest, part of the progression. But Kyler doesn't like what he sees on the front side of the play. Kyler scrambles. Marvin Harrison Jr. you'll see hanging out in the honey hole against cover 2. Dude knows where he's at. Dude knows ball. Lots of awareness for this rookie. I mean, we knew he was a stud. And then once that safety finally bites on Marvin Harrison's, little weakness he found in the zone, he does this little loop-dee and takes off downfield. Another big gain. Amari from the market in the backfield. Wow, I didn't even notice until now just how bad Kyler does this linebacker. Oh goodness. That guy's playing out of his mind, by the way. Play action, smash, or shake. Had a hard time knowing what to call this play concept, but they make it look like power. This is trend right now. 2024 is doing a power pull and play action with a protection slide to simulate the down blocks. That pulling guard just really convinces the defense. Notice that we're in pistol and simulating that power again. This is a 2-man route combo. We got X Wilson, or I guess Z Wilson, running this post corner type of route. And then we have the X Harrison Jr. running this beeline post, maybe like a divide route. That's it. You got blocks by both tight ends, a little block and release flat. But this is really a 2-man concept, because why send 4 or 5 guys out on routes if you only need 2 to beat the deep shell? I mean, awesome. It's another way that you can meld the run game with the pass game, is using these heavy personnel sets to unlock max protection passing concepts. The last play we'll look at is actually a rehashing of the first play we looked at. Zone play action. This is, again, corner post combination, Y corner, X post, however you want to call it. The safety gets displaced by Marvin Harrison Jr.'s post, and it ends up being just man. I think this is 2-man. It ends up being just man on man with this poor linebacker on McBride. Pay attention to this catch too. Just textbook how to play tight end or receiver. Like how do you catch the ball? Put on Trey McBride tape, and fantasy football fans, go trade for this guy. Do it, because him and Harrison Jr. have a give and take to these passing concepts. We're seeing Trey McBride unlock Harrison Jr. for big gains. We're also going to see it the other way around. Football Appreciation Club. What did we learn about Drew Petzing today? Nothing. I don't know if I learned anything. They condense or spread out 11, 12, 13, 23, pony, shotgun, pistol, single back, any of these formations, any of these personnel groups, and then they call any run concept zone, man, pin and pull, counter, option runs. Ugh. So a few takeaways I'll say are motions from balanced to imbalanced formations and vice versa, and a decent number of weak side handoffs, but I did see strong side handoffs as well. They tend to stay ahead of the sticks. You won't see them run the ball on like 3rd and long. You also don't see them take too many play action shots from like 2nd and 2. They're just extremely unpredictable in terms of tendencies, down and distance, situational, time, score, all that. And one last summary is bodies. We're getting big guys. We're pulling them. We're getting the bigs, the biggers on the bigs, or the bigs on the smalls. We're getting hat on a hat. We're winning downhill, and that's not the only tool in our bag. This offense reminds me of Russell Wilson and Darrell Bevell in Seattle, while that offense was very much focused on controlling the ball just to win games off the back of their defense. It involves heavy personnel, smash mouth football into play action, deep shot plays with a mobile and explosive quarterback. You're not making this guy look or read the field because he's short, and you're maximizing his physical talents. And the connection I made from there was, okay, well, Darrell Bevell, didn't he get his start with Brad Childress? He did. Drew Petzing comes from the Kevin Stefanski tree in Cleveland, and Kevin Stefanski originates from Brad Childress's offensive philosophy. And to put a little cherry on top, Brad Childress, Andy Reid tree guy. So the influence of Andy Reid, I think we're all going Shanahan all of the time. Even when we're describing an offense like this is not Shanahan offense. Neither is Stefanski's. If I'm an organization and I'm looking to hire a head coach, I want an offensive guru. I'm calling Drew Petzing for one. And if he doesn't want to pick up the phone, I'm looking at this tree of coaching, because I think they're on the leading edge of football right now. I truly think this guy is going to have a head coaching job within 2 years, and we'll be talking about him in a similar way that we do with Mike McDaniel and Ben Johnson. Rams are never going to fold. They're never going to just roll over for you. So they took it to a competent defense, in my opinion. And what are you supposed to do against a defense that's weaker than you? You're supposed to blow them out 40-10, as they did. So that's my summary with Drew Petzing. Good luck. I'm scared. Before the 2024 NFL season, I published an article called "Why Achane Will Lead NFL Running Backs in Receiving Yards in 2024." Well, folks, this is going quite well. Really sad for Tua. That was an awful game to watch. But Achane, he is ranked 10th in catches overall. Just every player, wide receiver, tight end, running back, he is 10th in the league in catches. He has a 100% catch rate, and he has 145 yards, which is 19th overall in the NFL, and by far and away the league leader among NFL running backs in receiving yards. The next best is Austin Eckler, who is 41st in receiving yards in the NFL. He has 99 receiving yards. Achane has 145, 19th place. So I think I was right. It's week 2, and we're going to want to see the sports books kind of reacted appropriately, I would say, to week 1. And there's no longer some get rich quick scheme with regard to the to Achane. Probably not going to be able to trade for him in your fantasy football leagues. He is, in fact, one of the best receiving backs perhaps ever. Obviously it's early, but this guy's on pace to have a huge year as a receiver, just as according to plan.